Cambridge University Library is the main research library of the University of Cambridge in England. It is also the biggest of 114 libraries within the university. The library is a major scholarly resource, not only for the University of Cambridge's academic community, but also for researchers nationally and internationally. Organizationally, Cambridge University Library comprises the main university library and its affiliated libraries. As of the 3rd of August 2015, there are currently 21 affiliated libraries associated with the main university library, which is often referred to within the university as the University Library, or just BL. The main university library is one of the 6 legal deposit libraries in the United Kingdom and Ireland, the others being the British Library, the Bodleian Library in Oxford, the National Libraries of Scotland and Wales, and Trinity College Library Dublin. Through legal deposit, purchase and donation it receives around 100,000 items every year. The main university library is unique amongst the legal deposit libraries in keeping a large proportion of its material on open access and in allowing some categories of reader to borrow from its collections. The main university library holds approximately 18 million items. Its original location was the university's old schools near Senate House until it outgrew the space there and a new library building was constructed in the 1930s. The library took over the site of a former military hospital, the 1st Eastern General, on the western edge of Cambridge city centre, now between Robinson College and Memorial Court, Clare College. The current librarian is Anne Jarvis, the first woman to hold the post, who succeeded Peter Fox on the 1st of April 2009. History. As early as the 14th century, Cambridge University owned a collection of manuscripts and some printed books. These would have been kept in chests along with other valuables, rather than in a library building as would be recognized today. A common library can be traced to the beginning of the 15th century, with the first direct reference to a library. In March 1416 the will of William Loring was proved, which bequeathed 3 volumes to the library. Thus, item volo quod omnis libri majoris civilis remanient in communi libraria scholarium universitatis Canterbury in perpetuum. The earliest catalogue is dated California 1424, at which time there were 122 volumes in the library. The second earliest surviving catalogue was drawn up in 1473, and denotes 330 volumes. For the 16th century onwards it received generous donations or bequests of books, and growth was considerably increased once the privilege of legal deposit had been granted. Architecture. The current main university library building was constructed between 1931 and 1934 under architect Charles Gilbert Scott, who also designed the neighbouring Clare Memorial Court. It bears a marked resemblance to Scott's industrial architecture, a famous example of which is Bankside Power Station. The library tower stands 157 feet tall, 6 feet shorter than the top of St John's College Chapel and 10 feet taller than the peak of King's College Chapel. Contemporary reports stated that in opening the building, Chamberlain referred to it as this magnificent erection, although this phrase is also attributed by tradition to George V. The fictional Dark Tower in the novel of that name was a replica of this building. Contrary to popular belief, pornographic material is not stored in the tower. The library has been extended several times. The main building houses the Japanese and Chinese collections in the Aoi Pavilion, an extension donated by Tadao Aoi and opened in 1998. Legal Deposit Library. As a legal deposit library, the main university library is entitled to claim without charge a copy of all books, journals, printed maps and music published in Britain and Ireland. This has contributed to the library's large holdings of over 7 million books and 1.5 million periodicals. Between 800 and 1,200 books a week are received through legal deposit. For the 6th of April 2013, legal deposit also covers material published digitally and online, so that the legal deposit libraries can provide a national archive of the UK's non-print published material, such as websites, blogs, journals and CD-ROMs. Access. The library is open to all members of the University of Cambridge, as is traditional amongst British university libraries. Research postgraduates and academics from other UK universities are allowed reference-only access to the library's collection. Members of the public may apply for access to use the library for reference if the research requires access to materials held there. The library is unique amongst the UK's legal deposit libraries in keeping a large proportion of its books on open access and in allowing some categories of reader to borrow from its collection. It has a well-used tea room, in which full meals, snacks and beverages are available. The library regularly puts on exhibitions, usually free to the public, and featuring items from its collections. Janus. In 2002 the library began a project called Janus, to provide a single point of networked access to catalogues of archives and manuscript collections held throughout Cambridge. A widening number of participating repositories, both university and non-university, promises in due course the near comprehensive coverage of archives in the city and surrounding area. Digitization Project. In June 2010, Cambridge University announced that a £1.5 million donation would allow them to start digitising some of the collections in the university library, and eventually provide access to them free of charge over the Internet via the Cambridge Digital Library website. Initially, the project will focus on two collections called The Foundations of Faith and The Foundations of Science, which includes writings by Isaac Newton and his contemporaries, as well as documents from the library's archives of Christian, Islamic and Jewish texts. Staff. The official office of librarian of the university was not established until 1577, when William James was appointed librarian. The first set of regulations for the office of keeping the library were then formed in 1582. Little is known of the administration before the late 16th century. Before 1577 the university chaplain had overall responsibility of the library amongst other duties. 16 potential chaplain librarians have been identified. In 1721 the post of principal librarian was created for Carnews Middleton as a mark of sympathy with him in his opposition to Richard Bentley. In 1828 this post was merged with that of librarian. Anne Jarvis is the current university librarian of the University of Cambridge. She is the 35th librarian of the University Library. Various scholars have held the position. Abraham Wheelock was librarian of the Public Library at Cambridge University, and was also reader in Anglo-Saxon in the 17th century. Augustus Theodore Bartholomew was a librarian at Cambridge University for over 25 years. The classicist A. F. Schofield was librarian from 1923 to 1949. More recent university librarians have included E. B. Settle, F. W. Ratcliffe, and Peter Fox. Other notable members of staff include the bibliographer Henry Bradshaw and the Uranian poet Charles Edward Sale, author of A History of the Library. Exhibitions. The main university library hosts exhibitions in its Millstein Exhibition Centre. These change approximately every 6 to 8 months and are open to all, free of charge. The current exhibition, Lines of Thought, celebrates 600 years of the university library by tracing 6 key concepts that have shaped the world. This exhibition includes some of the most iconic treasures in the library. It will run until the 30th of September 2016. Special collections. As part of its collection of more than 8 million volumes, the library contains a wealth of printed and manuscript material from earlier times. This includes a copy of the Gutenberg Bible from 1455, the earliest European example of a book produced using movable type. Library of Lord Acton, Catholic historian and Regius Professor of Modern History in 1885 to 1902. The extensive library collected by Lord Acton for research was bequeathed to the University Library on his death. The collection contains books from the 15th to 19th centuries, with emphasis on European history and church history. Many of the books contain annotations in Lord Acton's own hand. An archive of Charles Darwin's correspondence and books from his working library. The Hansen Collection, containing important books on navigation and shipbuilding, as well as maritime atlases, some dating from the 16th century. The Bradshaw Collection, containing more than 14,000 books relating to Ireland, printed in Ireland, all written by Irish authors. This is one of the most important collections of its kind in the world. The collection was formed by Henry Bradshaw, d. 1886. At present, the emphasis is on books printed in Ireland before 1850. The library of the typographer Stanley Morrison, who had close links with Cambridge University Press. The Royal Library, an important collection of more than 30,000 books assembled by John Moore, Bishop of Ely. The collection was bequeathed to the University Library by George I in 1715, hence the name. The Library of the Royal Commonwealth Society, containing books, periodicals, pamphlets, photographs and manuscripts relating to the British Empire and the Commonwealth. The Bible Society Library and the Library of the Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge. The Taylor Schechter Gene is a collection, a store of 140,000 manuscripts and manuscript fragments, mainly in Hebrew and Arabic, for the Ben Ezra Synagogue in Cairo. Codex Bezer Cantabrigiensis, an important codex of the New Testament dating from the 5th century, written both in Greek and Latin. The Greek text is unique, with many interpolations found nowhere else. It was given to the University of Cambridge by the Protestant scholar Theodore Bezer, friend and successor of Calvin, hence the name. The Cambridge Songs, a collection of Goliadic medieval Latin poems, preserved on 10 leaves of the Codex Cantabrigiensis. E.G. Brown's collection of around 480 codices in Arabic, Persian, and Turkish. Several composer archives: William Alwyn, Arthur Bliss, Roberto Gerhard, Peter Tranchell. Papers of Isaac Newton, Lord Kelvin, Ernest Rutherford, George Gabriel Stokes, Joseph Niedig G.E. Moore and Siegfried Sassoon, among others. Archives of the Royal Greenwich Observatory. Material and archives of the University of Cambridge, from probates and graces to records of various student societies. Around 1.5 million maps. Bibliography. Bradshaw, Henry. Collected papers. Cambridge University Press. Textus. Fox, Peter. Cambridge University Library. The Great Collections. Cambridge University Press. ISBN 0-521-62636-6. Ernst JCT, and Amp McKittrick, D. Cambridge University Library. A History 2 vols. Oates, J. C.T. Cambridge University Library, A History, From the Beginnings to the Copyright Act of Queen Anne. Cambridge, McKitterick, David. Cambridge University Library, A History, the 18th and 19th Centuries. Cambridge University Press, ISBN 0-521-30655-8. Ratcliffe, F. W. Books, Just Miles and Miles of Books. Across the Library Counter, 1950–2000. Cambridge, F. W. Ratcliffe. Sale, Charles. Annals of Cambridge University Library, 1278–1900. Cambridge University Library. Descriptions of collections. Oates, J.C. A catalogue of the 15th-century printed books in the University Library, Cambridge. Reissued. Cambridge University Press, ISBN 9781108008488. Extracts. Reef, Stephen C. Hebrew Manuscripts at Cambridge University Library. A Description and Introduction. Cambridge University Press, ISBN 978-0-521-58339-8. Extracts. Wade, Thomas Francis. Cambridge University Library. A catalogue of the Wade collection of Chinese and Manchu books in the Library of the University of Cambridge. Compiled by Herbert Allen Giles. University Press. Retrieved 24 April 2014. Cambridge University Library. A catalogue of the collection of Chinese and Manchu books given to the University of Cambridge. The University Press. Retrieved 24 April 2014.